Hey, good morning everyone. Today I'm going to be talking about doing more in order to achieve what you want to achieve. And it comes down to two recent videos that I saw that I took a bit of notes on because I thought they were so good and so insightful on exactly what it takes in order to be successful in this business. And a lot of the questions might be, okay, do more, but of what? And so that's exactly what I'm going to cover in this video. So first off, why do more? Alex Hormozi just released a video this past week. I watched it overnight and he took a deep dive into the psychology of doing more and why doing more is so incredibly effective at getting you what you want. Because a lot of the time, I know for me, learning things isn't the bottleneck. Like especially with the 9x12, community cards, anything with direct mail, it actually comes down to being pretty simple. Getting advertisers to go on a shared postcard to mail out to a community, it's not that difficult of a concept to get into your brain. The harder thing comes down to prospecting and talking to business owners and convincing them about it. And that's where the next step comes in. Doing more. Doing more what? I'll go into that soon. But first, the things you want to understand about doing more is that there's three big questions that Alex Hormozi talks about in his video. The first one is, what would it take to get this big goal in terms of volume? So say you want to fill a 9x12, you need to get 16 ads. What will it take in order for you to get to that? Do you need more time? Do you need more people? Do you need more scripts in order to make it more effective in your conversations? And so that's the next question. What are the resources required to do that? So think about that, list it all out, break down, column 1 and column 2. I need this type of resource in order to get, volume of calls done, emails sent. What do I need? Do I need a CRM? Do I need a list of people to send these emails to? Do I need a list of phone numbers? So first, what is it they need in order to get that volume? So say you want to, like Jake's always said, you want to talk to 5 business owners a day. Now, that doesn't mean 5 calls a day, because if anybody's been doing cold calling for this a while, getting the business owner is the hard thing to do, because they're usually either not in the store, they're not in the shop. If they are the one answering the phone, they're usually busy running the business, so they might not be willing to talk to you. A lot of times now they have an AI agent answering the phone, so you can't really get through it unless you are looking for an appointment for them to come out and, do whatever home maintenance service it is. So that's the key, is how much volume will it take for you to talk to 5 business owners a day? And you're not going to know it by default, because everything is different in every market. So the only way for you to find out is to be doing it first for yourself. Until you know about how many dials it takes, before you know how many emails it takes to send in order to get to the decision maker, or to the owner or whatnot, you got to do it yourself. Because if you hire somebody out, you hire somebody on Fiverr like I've done, and you don't know what the expected ratio is from how many calls to how many, at least interested parties, then you won't have any idea if they're being effective or not. Or if they're just scamming you and telling you, oh yeah, I contacted this many businesses and none of them were interested, and get scammed that way, like I also have in the past on Fiverr. So until you know for yourself your stats and your expectations, then I would not delegate it yet. But once you do know that, then you can move to the next step and hire out and build some more resources around it. But if you know the goal is to talk to 5 business owners a day, think about what volume it takes. Probably takes 100 calls, maybe 200 emails, in order to possibly get, 5 touch points with an owner. But every market's different, so test it out for yourself and try it out. So those are the first 2 questions. What will it take to get this big goal in terms of volume? And then what are the resources required to do that? And then the third question is it worth it? So this comes down to the ROI and your expected profit on the 9x12 card or the community card, whatever it is you're going to be doing, think about, you need to know your numbers going into it. Because if you want to shell out, $1,000 to buy a bunch of tools and to buy a list and to do all these things, and then you're just doing a community card where your profit's only going to be $1,000, is it worth it? At first, you might not think so, but there's other pieces of the business that you need to understand in order to develop it to make it more successful in the long run. But that's a topic for another video. But first, to know if it's worth it or not, you need to know how much you're going to be spending on these resources to get everything in place, and what is your expected return based on that. So if you're only doing one community card, yeah, that might not be great. But if you're able to leverage these relationships from getting them on a community card, build them up into a 9x12, or do multiple community cards across a lot of different areas and different zip codes, then it might be worth it pretty quickly, because you can, make $1,000 profit per card, and you just get these advertisers because it's like such a small price per card distribution. They might more easily be willing to go on multiple cards. So you can easily leverage that 1,000 into like 4,000 or 5,000 profit over the following months with the same batch of advertisers that you worked hard getting with the system. The other thing that he goes into after those big three questions is what's stopping you. And for me, I know my biggest bottleneck, as Hormozi would say in the theory of constraints, what's the biggest constraint on the business holding it from growing? Is it hiring effective salespeople? Is it doing the sales calls yourselves? What's the constraint on the business? Is it fulfillment? Does it take you too long to fulfill the card that you sell that you're not able to go out and sell more? So you have to understand your business in order to know what the biggest constraint is that's preventing you from moving forward and capitalizing on what's in front of you. So if the biggest bottleneck is usually just lead gen and talking to business owners, then what is stopping you from doing that? For me, I know I have my 9 to 5. I only have a couple hours of prospecting available to me each day. And now, more than usual, I spend it making tools, making these videos, and getting conversations with other people in the community that I run at eddmschool.com. And, it's free to join right now. We're going to be adding some tiers, adding some new stuff soon. But it's free to join, and you can be a part of the community, ask questions, and have somebody else to talk to in it. So that's what's taking up most of my time away from prospecting for the 9x12 or building a community card or whatever else I want to do in this business. So that's my answer for what's stopping you. But you have to balance it with, is it worth it, and what's stopping you? And so if I want to build more in the direct mail side of things, is me spending more time on these other things, is that worth the cost of not doing these other things? So for you, it might be an issue of, do I need to hire somebody? What's stopping you? Is it a fear of picking up the phone and talking to people? Is it a fear of not knowing what your script is, what you're going to say when you get them on the phone? So you have to answer for yourself, what is stopping you? And now I'm getting on the highway, so I'm going to take a break because I have the next notes for the next video that I'm going to talk about. All right, see you in a minute. All right, I'm off the highway, so back for part 2. So now we know you need to do more. You need to do more volume. You need to do more of what you need to do. So the next question is obviously then what to do. More of what? So this comes down to Mitch Tebo's recent video, probably about a month or two ago now, that was basically it's not what he called it, but like the 7 habits of highly successful direct mail marketers. I'll link his video below so you can check it out for yourself. If you don't know, he runs a Skool Group of over 2,700 people that are doing this marketing, interested in this marketing, working through the process, sharing their wins, sharing their successes, sharing their scripts, sharing tons of value in there. And he's studied it over the past, 10 months that he's been running the group. And he came down to the top 7 things that the most successful people in this group are doing. and why that's effective. So I definitely recommend watching his video, follow his channel, join his Skool Group also, because it's very active. A lot of really successful people in there, always sharing the wins. He has weekly Zoom calls, getting everybody in the same room, talking about what they're working on. So I'll have his group linked below. You can join that. It's the 9x12 side hustle system on Skool. But these are the 7 things that he identified that the people that are the most successful are doing. So you can identify for yourself if you are or if you're not. I know for myself, when I went through it, it was a light bulb on me why I'm not necessarily as effective at selling the 9x12 as some of the others out there, because I'm only doing 2 out of the 7. So in school, that would be a failing grade. So if you are looking to do more, as you know you need to do, then here's going to be what you should be doing. So the first of his recommendations is consistency. You have to stick to it. So the people that aren't successful don't stick with it. They do less. They try to be more effective instead of doing more. And so they end up just like whittling away of their efforts, and they don't stick with it. They go off and chase the next shiny object that they see somebody posting about online, making viral videos with AI, making a newsletter, selling AI agents, selling AI phone systems, selling email systems, chasing the next big thing that they saw somebody else have success with on YouTube. I know, because that's what I've done. I started my 9x12 journey about 2 years ago, sold out a card over the course of like 6 months, and then just put it on the shelf and went off and chased some other opportunities until a year later I came back to it and was like, you know what? That's the thing that actually worked. That's the thing that actually got me my first sales online, a consistent book of business. And so I got to get back to that. And so I did. And so now I've been better at staying consistent with it. But that's one of the keys, sticking with it. Because if you get down to that valley of despair after the initial optimism wears off, and you just think, oh, this isn't worth the effort, and then you go off to chase something else, you're just going to go on that same roller coaster to the same point of decline and drop off for the next thing. So this is a pretty proven model. A lot of people have done it. And so I know you can do it too if you just stick with it and be consistent. I know there's another great channel out there, My Life with a 9x12, where Jose goes through his process, which took him several months. I think he started back in May, and he just finally got his first card out. So that's proof. If you just stay consistent, even through all the trials and tribulations and the difficulties of it, you can get paid to make this happen in your community. So definitely follow his channel for his full backstory. I'll link it in the description below as well. You'll have a bunch of homework after this video, so hope you're ready. I'll try to keep this video short so you have time to get to them. But the next big lesson from Mitch is Facebook groups. So there was a big, fad a couple years ago, maybe 10 years ago, where everybody was creating local Facebook groups for their market. I'm in Miami. If I search like Miami buy and sell or Miami business, Miami small business, there's probably like 20 different groups. Miami classifieds. You can find all these different groups that are run by, different people that started it as a side hustle of their own, probably a decade ago. But the power of Facebook is they continues to thrive, and especially as Skool has come up with their groups and stuff, Facebook is pushing groups more and more, and the content of those groups is getting pushed out more and more. So if you can find a good community that's pretty active, at least like 10 posts a day, not too many, because then it just is a cesspool of spam. You don't want all of that. But if you find the right group that at the right balance, and you can just post something super simple in there, you have to read the rules of the moderation and what the rules of engagement are in the group to make sure you're not stepping on any toes. And usually they'll have, like, if nothing else, like a once a week kind of free for all, hey, pitch your business, pitch whatever you're working on. And one, you can use that for lead gen. You can see what other businesses are posting there and say to them, you can reach out and DM them, hey, I see you're not getting much engagement in this group. Are you interested in getting your word out? And send them a message that way. But in the actual group itself, you could post something along the lines of, I'm putting together a direct mail postcard. I'm putting together a postcard, sending out to this community in the next couple weeks. And do you know, are there any local businesses that want some details? So you can have that out there, or you can also add it with, is there any local businesses that you'd like to see on there? And that's just something easy. It's not taking away, it's not spammy in the group. Like you'll see a lot of other spammers usually in the group, either pitching mobile car detailing or house cleaning. There's a lot of other scammers that seem like they might not be as legit businesses. But yours has the ability to stand out. If you want to increase the effectiveness, include some pictures of a mock-up of your card, or if you have like a past card, include some pictures of that on there. So that way people see the proof, they see, something that stands out in their feed and be like, what is that thing? So I'd recommend doing that. I've done that myself for my parents' Christmas tree farm. There's like Big Island of Hawaii. They have a bunch of different groups for things to do, all that kind of stuff. And so I asked in there, what are some great holiday themed businesses? Anybody like to support it on the holidays? Because I want to put together a local co-op for the Christmas tree farm where we have the Christmas tree farm, front, center, bold. I'll put an image of my template that I have right now. And then just get a bunch of other businesses and business card sizes on there with little coupons, little offers, kind of like a community card. But instead of mailing, just having each of the businesses that are on it, having it in their place of business so they can showcase, that they're a part of this community. So that's what we did with the Christmas tree farm. I posted there. We got a bunch of recommendations for sea glass crystals and some cookie shops and coffee shops around the island, so I can put them onto the card and get it distributed. And then we get exposure. All the businesses get free exposure across all the community. And if you're not doing postage, then just printing, especially with Jake with elite pricing, is super cheap. If you want to know more about that, just send me a comment below, and I'll send you a link to his group for his elite pricing. But that's what it all comes down to for Facebook groups. Next is what Mitch calls the 1-2 punch of the email and phone combo. So first, you want to send some emails because it takes you the least amount of time. You can get a big list of emails. Mitch has his system where you can just go onto his group and request a list of 300 businesses. And, for a couple $100, he'll have all the research done for you with emails, complete information and everything. I'm working on building out my leads tool to basically scrape Google and at least get you phone number and maybe some emails. But that's not ready yet. So in the meantime, use his service. A lot of people swear by it in his group. It cuts down the hustle factor of having to figure it out yourself. Just let him do it. He's an expert. He's done it for months and months now for a lot of people in a lot of different markets. So first you want to email. So that way, you get out there, you might get some responses back from the email, but if not, follow up with a phone call. And the reason why this is key differentiator instead of calling first is that you have a trick in your mind that you can at least tell yourself that this isn't a cold call. You're just following up to see if they got your email. So you can frame the conversation that way. When they ask you oh, who's this? Why are you calling? I just sent an email. I wanted to make sure that the owner got it. Are they in? So I could discuss it with them. And that might, get through some of the guardrails of the gatekeeper, because they don't know what that email is about. It could be about a quote that the business owner requested. It could be about something that they need to know about. It could be about an issue. It could be about a legal issue. Who knows? But because you can legitimately say that you're following up to ask about an email that you'd sent them that you hadn't heard back from yet, you have a way around those answers, those questions from the gatekeeper. So do that. That gives you a warmer introduction into the business owners. And then if the business owner says, no, I didn't see the email, you can be like, oh, well, this is what it's about, and explain it on the phone with them once you have them. Or if they did see it and they have any questions, they can have it. Or at least you're already kind of warmed up in the conversation about what it is. In that email, don't put too many details. Don't, pile on like the pricing and how many cards you're sending out. Have it be a super simple email. Nowadays with AI emails that get sent out, they're so detailed. They're scraping LinkedIn's information. They're scraping the business's website. They're getting all this information about them and putting it into an email to make it sound so personalized that it just gets lost in the noise. Like I get probably 10 emails a day from different lead generation companies, from all those different things. Just a side note, I've never received a cold email about a 9x12 postcard asking me to be on one. So if anybody's trying to reach into the Miami market, I guess I haven't come up on any of your lists yet. But if you haven't gotten through my filters or something. But yeah, you want to just keep it super short and simple. So I'm like, hey, I'm sending out a postcard to this area, and we're looking for a blank service line business. So we're looking for a painter to join. Is that something you'd be interested in? Can I send you more details? Something like that. Something super short, simple, two lines, 2 or 3 sentences, subject line of either like question or an idea for you, or something that like leads with curiosity, so they want to open it, and then something super short and simple so they don't just like get hit by a wall of text, be like, all right, this is junk. And make it sound very informal, very personal, and give a simple call to action, like, if you want more details, just hit reply and let me know, or you can text me at blah blah blah, and just have your phone number on there. It makes it sound less automated. It makes it sound less AI generated, and that's kind of the key in these days. You don't want to just sound like every other instantly email that somebody's getting. So that's the idea for email and phone, the 1-2 punch. Next is you want to sell the value, not the space. So on a 9x12, on a community card, we cut it up into these little boxes and stuff. But you do not want to be telling them like, hey, do you want a 4x3 inch space on this piece of paper to get printed? No, you want to sell the value of getting into 5,000 or 10,000 homes, or 2,500 hyper-focused community homes if you're doing the community card. So pitch the value of that, not just like, I can get you on a postcard into these mailboxes, because that they don't know the value of that. But the real value is if they tried to do it themselves, they'd be spending, depends on the size of the card and how many you're doing. But they could spend on a 9x12 for 10,000. They could be spending $7,000 or $8,000 to do it themselves, and they can get on a card of that distribution for like $650 with you. So, and on a community card, if you were to send out, 2,500 6.5x12 cards, EDDM themselves, including design and everything else they'd have to do, they'd be spending about $2,000. So they can get on there for like, 150, 175, 200, whatever you're doing. So you have to anchor them at the value of the price of, basically 10x of whatever it is. If you've gone through any like online marketing things, you'll usually notice in the funnel stack, they'll have the total value added up of the value of each of the different things you're getting. And it'd be like, total value $10,000. And then today it's just, 1,000. So they break it down usually by about 10x of the value that you are going to be getting into what you actually pay. So you want to do the same thing. It's a trick of psychology. It's price anchoring, all that. So you want to make sure you lead with the value, not just like, hey, this is only $150, because they don't know what, to them, $150 could be in their mind compared to like, well, I can just place door hangers for whatever price. And it's cheaper because there's no postage involved. So you need to anchor the price at what it would cost for them to actually do a direct mail campaign themselves and talk about the effectiveness there. All right, so that was 1, 2, 3, 4. So the next one we have, when you're getting close to completion, have a last call. Anybody that was like kind of maybe wishy-washy, kind of interested but didn't really commit, give them a call back and say, hey, it's the last call. I only got like 2 or 3 spots left on the card. Do you want it? Yes or no? And check. So this is something I had done with my first card. It took me 6 months to get to close to completion on it, and I had several people that along the way had expressed interest, and they kind of ghosted me after a while. So what I did is I put together just like a quick little mock-up of an ad for them and sent it their way and said, hey, I only have a few spots left. I put this together, so you can kind of see what it would look like on there. Is it something you'd be interested in still? And then I got 2 closings from that on the card. So knowing that somebody's already warmed up and somebody's already like a maybe, or they expressed interest before, you can put a little bit of extra effort into maybe mocking them up a card, a space on the card, putting on your card that's almost completed so they can kind of see that it's actually coming together, that you're legit. A lot of times scammers aren't going to go back to somebody, 2 months later, 6 weeks later, and be like, hey, by the way, I'm still working on this thing, because they're just like firing off 10,000 things. So because you follow back up with them, that also sets you apart that you're actually legit and you really actually are trying to do this thing, because that's one of the other biggest hurdles in the business. Nobody believes in what somebody that's just calling them out of the blue is actually going to do with their money. So that'll also help you set apart. That might help you close the last couple sales. And along the lines of the last call, talk to some of the people that are already on your card and ask them for some referrals. Tell them, hey, we're getting really close to the end. I know we want to get this card out in the next couple weeks. Do you have any other businesses that that would be a good fit for the card? Just let me know their information, or we can like start a group chat with them and just introduce them to me and let them know. And then I can take it from there and work with them and see if it'll be a good fit. But don't be afraid to ask. If this person's already sold on being on the card, they're probably going to want other people on the card with them that they know. And if they already see the value on it, then somebody of the similar, mindset is probably somebody that they're close with and they work with or they know. And so it'll probably be an easier sale with them because they probably have a similar mindset and approach in business. So definitely do last call and ask for referrals. And just say, hey, do you know anyone that would want to be on it? All right, number 6, rebook and expand and keep people coming back. So when you are getting to the end of this card, you want to be continually maintaining a open conversation with your business owners. And once you send it out, you want to, rebook them for the next one. You should already have a plan on when your next card is going to go out. If you're going to be doing these monthly, are you going to do them quarterly? Are you going to do a new one in a different area? You should already have that kind of planned out, especially once you're nearing the completion of your first one. So that way you can have that conversation with your business owners that you're working with and letting them know, hey, this is the plan. You want to get on this one. There's if you book within the next week or whatever, I give you 10% off of the renewal price, or keep you at the low introductory price if you did like an introduction for your first card, and do something like that. Or expand if you sold out your first card pretty quickly and then it's just like time to move into some more areas, you can do that. So yeah, once you have your plan of expansion ready to go, just be communicating with them, letting them know that what the plan is and invite them to be on to the next one. So that is what some of the top 9x12ers are doing in Mitch's group. And then we are down to the last one. Number 7, use the tools that are available to you. So in Mitch's video, he talks about all the tools that he has for people. So he has in his community, which is linked below, he has resources like scripts, a bunch of freebies, templates, all that kind of stuff around the design. And then he also has his lead list that you can just hire out to him to get you a list of a whole bunch of businesses and all the top categories for your local area. And he also has the 9x12 CRM, where you can, kind of organize all your contacts and have them in there so you know where you stand with all of them. He has a built-in profit calculator, a built-in tracking for like how the cart is coming together, how many spaces you have left, how many are sold, what your profit margin is, all that kind of stuff. He has built into his CRM. So join his group. He has more information about there. Follow him on his channel. He has a bunch of videos there about it. But those are the tools that are available to you from him. My channel is called EDDM Tools. It's all about tools to help make this process simpler and easier. I built them for myself, going through the process myself. After I did my first card, there was a lot of things that were really annoying about doing EDDM, and I wanted to simplify it and make it easier for me and less of a headache. So the first tool that I built was RouteSnip, where it's a Chrome extension that allows you to just go to the USPS EDDM website, put in your zip code, get the list of all the routes, and with one button, just click, copy it, paste it into Excel to do analysis there. Or we also have RouteSnip Pro, where you just copy it in there, and then you just click a button and it tells you the best 2,500 doors routes, the best routes for a 5,000 piece mailer, or best routes for a 10,000 piece mailer, or even 15,000 piece mailer, depending on what size you want to distribute to. So you can just do that. So that way you don't have to take the time of researching all these different places, copying, pasting, things which never really works with the way the USPS website is laid out. And you can just do it in one click, get the suggestion, and then it'll tell you all the demographics for that area. It'll tell you the average income. It'll tell you how many people per household, what the percentages of businesses is on those routes. And so you can have that already in your hand to be able to talk to prospects and sound like you really know what you're talking about when you say, oh yeah, this zip code that we want to reach has this kind of effectiveness, this kind of people living in it. And especially with community cards, you can just put, just go to the USPS website, put in a bunch of different zip codes, and then after each one, you just click and save the 2,500 routes, and then for each of those different zip codes what your target would be, what their average income is, all that kind of stuff for the actual routes that are live on the USPS website right now. So you're not going to any other data source, you're just going to USPS, using RouteSnip to scrape it, and then Pro to analyze it. So we have that tool. As you're building out the designs for everything, you want to be able to track the effectiveness of your cards. So you want a good QR code creator. I have Link Track, which is a link shortener that basically every time somebody scans a QR code or clicks on one of your links, it goes into this tracking dashboard, so you can easily filter by advertiser or by campaign and see exactly how many scans they got. Or if you're putting your own giveaway on there, which I highly suggest, there'll be another video about that coming soon. You want to put that on there so you know about how many scans are coming in from each of the different zip codes. If you're doing multiple community cards, you can easily track what different areas are having the most engagement with your codes on your cards. And then the last one, of course, is Rapid Slips, where if you're going to be doing fulfillment yourself, which is a great way to save money, especially when you're just starting up, you just get the postage printout from USPS after you check out, and you get your receipt. They give you the templates for what you need to fill out to attach to your cards. And instead of manually writing on and making copies and writing bundle 1 of 5, 2 of 5, all that, you just upload it into Rapid Slips, and within 5 seconds, you have your full stack and your full 60 pages that you can just print and just put them on your bundles and take them to the post office. So you don't have to worry about any of the hassle of handwriting or or making a mail merge like I had to do the first one. It makes it super simple, super easy. You just check out, pay your postage with USPS on their website, get that receipt paperwork, upload it to Rapid Slips, and click process and print, and then you're done. You just take it all. It even fills out the main form. Then all you have to do is sign, take a copy of one of the cards into the post office with you, and then they'll get everything processed. You'll take the cards into their office, put them on a big dolly or whatever, and send them off into the world. So that way you don't have to do all the manual process that used to be in there. So that is what the most successful people do is, like Mitch says, successful people trade money for time, while the unsuccessful people are trading their time to save money. And so if you want to accelerate your growth, accelerate your process, just spend a little bit of money to systematize things and save your efforts for the things that matter, that'll actually inspire the growth, so that you can do more of what you need to do. So that's it for this video. Big idea, do more. And if you don't know what to do, just watch this video again, listen to those 7 tips from Mitch, or go watch his video, follow him for all the information he puts out. He has some great guides on step-by-step 9x12, or you can also go to the OG of everything, Jake Lorraine, High Response Marketing. He's the originator of this concept, and he has some of the best content out there. He has weekly live YouTube calls, so I'll have his channel linked below, so you can make sure you like and subscribe to him, so that way you get notifications of all of his stuff, because he's a straight shooter, best prices of printing in the game. And so definitely go to him for anything you need. And he has a bunch of courses. His courses are what I went through when I first started, so I knew exactly how to approach this, what I needed to know. And then once you know what you need to know, then it's just about doing more. And now you have the knowledge of what you need to do, so just go out there and do it. All right, until next time, take care, y'all. Bye.